Still a long 2.5 or 3 yards there. And it's intercepted.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants starting their mandatory mini camp. It's only 3 days. And then they're off. Then they're off for the summer. It's basically like about a month because, July training camp starts. Got a couple weeks of training camp and then, dude, it's unbelievable. Right? You got about a month. Training camp starts. Preseason starts. Regular season starts. Here we go, baby. Yes. So they're starting, their 3-day mandatory minicamp. Mandatory, you hear that, Kadarius Toney? Okay. But there's a couple articles here I saw. I just want to go over it. Some interesting things to look out for, as they go through these 3-day mandatory mini camps, and not only what to look for, maybe with the mini camps, but also, after the mini camps are over and they go into their summertime break. Well, let's see here. The New York Giants mandatory mini camp. 4 things to watch this week. Now, there's 2 articles here. This is from SB Nation. All right, they got 4 things, and the other article is they got 7 things that they're going to be looking at. But this one right here is, obviously, let's look at the rookies. All right, Giants have an intriguing class. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And we'll need contributions from many of these first-year players to have a successful 20. That's true. Yes. I mean, I don't know how many expecting to be like, starters right off the bat and all, but at least contributors. If you're not a starter, at least contribute on special teams because, there's a good chance that all the guys in this draft class, unless something just terribly goes wrong, there's a good chance that they're all going to make the team. All right. So that means, that somebody from the Gettleman era might be getting the boot. So, it's going to be very important for all these guys to step up. All right, now, of course, we're going through one at a time. I got, of course, Kayvon. He's injured. So, unfortunately, we aren't likely to see Thibodeau do much this week, except for maybe ride on the bicycle. Thibodeau is not practicing, suffering some type of lower body injury during the first week of OTAs. It's like Groundhog's Day. It's like with the Giants. It's like, Thibodeau was sprinting and doing agility drills under the watchful eye of a Giants trainer. So that's promising. That's good. Sprinting, very good. Coach Brian Dable was evasive last week about timeline for Thibodeau to get back on the field. Among the things he said about Thibodeau, we'll see next week how it goes. There's a lot of things that can happen over the weekend. Knock on wood, hopefully he'll be good to go. Hopefully, he'll be ready by training camp. Again, I'm not going to promise anything. He may or may not be. If he sprains an ankle, there's different degrees of spraining. Some guys recover quickly. Some guys don't. There's, some ankle is sprained or just be day by day. Some of them could be weeks. So, everything, it's all different. All right. This will not fall on deaf ears, but let's not get bent out of shape about Thibodeau's injury until we get to training camp and see where things stand. All right, so, don't expect too much from him, in the mandatory minicamp here. Neal is clearly entrenched at right tackle. All right, love to see it, baby. Offensive line coach Bobby Johnson said this about Neal early on in OTAs. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. I've learned that in a short period of time. One of my keys with him right now is hey, my job is to coach you. If you need any pressure applied, let me do it. Don't do it to yourself. You're too young. You won't know when to turn it off. Right now, my job is to teach. My job is to coach. Very true. Very, very true. My job is also to be a mentor. I don't need to apply any more pressure than what's there. He had enough pressure the day he was drafted. That's true, too. You get pick number 7, and you come into New York, there's pressure. Oh, yeah. He wants to be really good. You got to love it, baby. Huh? But him, Andrew Thomas, yes. Yes, baby. Veteran right guard Mark Lewinsky has been impressed. They ask about Evan Neal. I love this. Just dominant. As long as he gets his hand on guys, that's the end of the story, Lewinsky said. So just making sure that we put him in the right place, make sure that he's doing the right things. He has come along drastically every day, learning more and more. And you also see at the bottom of this picture, just dominant. Gotta love to see that, baby. 2 out, very good, young tackles the Giants have. That's it. And you got yourself an edge rusher. You got yourself maybe 2 edge rushers. You got yourself 2 tackles. I mean, you got the foundation. You may be missing a brick or 2 here or there, like possibly the quarterback. But I mean, if you got yourself 2 edge rushers and you got yourself 2 offensive tackles, yeah, you're off and running. As I said, I mean, we're going to find out about Daniel Jones, the most important position in all sports. All right, the toughest position in all sports. All right, but All right, then we got Wandale. All right, the Giants said that they have very clear vision for how Robinson would be used in their new offense. It has become clear that the Giants will use a lot of RPOs and quick throws to get the ball into his hands and to the hands of the playmakers in space, like him and Saquon. And Kadarius, absolutely, Sterling Shepard, and that they will use a variety of formations in an effort to create mismatches. It is also clear Robinson will be a big part of that. Awesome. Love to hear that. We will be watching to see how his relationship with quarterback Daniel Jones continues to develop. Then we got Joshua Ezeudu. The assumption has been that Ezeudu will compete for the starting left guard spot. He still could, but the last 2 times media has access at OTAs, Ezeudu was taking first-team reps to tackle to replace the ailing Andrew Thomas, who is working his way back from ankle surgery. It's going to take time. Hopefully, Andrew will be back in time for the season. Then we got cornerback Cordell Flott. Flott has been working as a backup slot cornerback with Darnay Holmes taking first-team reps. That would seem likely to continue this week. Okay. But, he's pushing, Darnay. And, so, I mean, competition ain't going to hurt nobody. Daniel Bellinger, the tight end from San Diego State, has been impressive throughout the spring. The Giants have used him with the first team in a variety of alignments. And Bellinger has caught everything thrown in his direction. Yes. Love it. He looks like a comfortable security blanket underneath and has been able to stretch the field down the seam a couple of times. I mean, he's not going to be Evan Ingram, okay? But, you throw it to him, he catches it. That's so wonderful to hear. Dane Belton. Honestly, Belton didn't do much to stand out during the OTA. Still, the Giants will need more than Xavier McKinney and Julian Love at safety. It will be interesting to see if it is a defined role for Belton begins to emerge. Mikey Mcfadden. McFadden flashed a couple of times as a blitzer in OTAs that were open to the media. But it's actually hard to tell how much of an accomplishment that was, as there is no contact practices, so with minimal blocking. So, yeah. Can McFadden do enough to cut into Tay Crowder's playing time? We'll have to wait and see. Remember, Tay Crowder led the team in tackles last year. So, DJ Davidson. In non-contact practices in shorts and T-shirt, it's impossible to really learn anything about the defensive line play. Yep. Won't really learn much about whether or not Davidson can be a rotational part of the defense until pads come on in August. So, we still got a ways to go for that. Marcus McKeithen. McKeithen has thus far worked out right guard with the second and third groups. That will likely continue. Yep. and Darien Beavers. Beavers flashed in coverage a few times during the OTAs. Perhaps a bonus since athleticism coverage are not supposed to be his strengths. Can Beavers force his way into the competition at inside linebacker? That would be cool. In the end, he's likely as a special teams player, and then the undrafted free agent. Early in camp, Dable singled out running back Joshua Corbin. I hope he makes it, as having been impressive. There were a number of undrafted tight ends, defensive backs, and defensive linemen trying to catch the eye of the coaching staff. We'll see if any of them take a step forward this week. Then you got Saquon, the receiver. While we haven't and we won't see the entirety of the Giants' new Dable Mike Kafka playbook, the general direction of the Giants' offense is crystal clear. The Giants will spread the field. They will use motion. They will look to create mismatches via formations. The RPO will be prevalent, probably the zone read too. The ball will often come out of quarterback Daniel Jones' hand quickly. Thank goodness. As the Giants look to get the ball out into the playmakers to try to make plays. Much of that quick passing game seems destined to replace the running game. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, it sounds like it's going to be more like pass to set up the run, right? So what we've seen thus far, throwing the ball to Barkley appears to be a big part of the plan. We have seen Barkley catch passes while lined up as a wide receiver, a slot receiver, and even as a running back. The Dable Kafka offense seems determined to make Barkley a centerpiece of the passing attack. Cool. Get him out, give him the ball, let him do what he can, let him do his thing. All right. And then we got the red dirt jerseys. All right. We've already discussed the likelihood Thibodeau will remain in a red jersey this week. Let's talk about some of the other guys who are unlikely to do much this week. It's a given that Nick Gates, having fractured leg, and offensive tackle Matt Parrott coming back from a torn ACL won't practice. Same thing with Sterling Shepard, torn Achilles. So Kenny Golladay began OTAs in a red jersey, was out of the red jersey, but didn't practice the second time media had access and wasn't seen last Thursday. Dexter Lawrence and Shane Lemieux have progressed out of red jerseys. Okay, so that's a plus. Kadarius Toney, with his knee surgery, seems like unlikely to practice. Other players who have been in red jerseys, Colin Johnson, Cam Brown, and Andrew Thomas. Thomas' offseason ankle surgery did not appear to be moving all that well on Thursday. That is going to need to be monitored. So hopefully he can make it in time for the start of at least the start of the season, if worse comes to worse, right? Roster spots are not being won or lost at this time of year. This is a teaching camp because, again, it's important. People are learning our language, our playbooks, how we want to do things here and have the building. So there's been a lot of teaching going on. So basically what is can we take, teach the guys, and can they take what they have learned in the classroom and can they take it out to the field? That's huge. But what what this article says is that nobody's won a job and nobody's lost a job, right? They're just going through the teaching, a lot of teaching. Things are going to start amping up, once training camp starts. But all right. Then this other article here we got from Giants Wire. They got 7 things to watch during this mini camp, these 3-day mini camp. All right. Atmosphere. Ooh, all right. Brian Dable has been waiting for a bite at the head coaching apple for some time now, and there's his big chance. He already has connected solidly with his players, and this team promises to be more cohesive than in the past years. The attitude is fresh as the approach. Whether it equates to more wins in the standings remains to be seen. Now, I mean, everything's all fine and fancy. It's, hey, guys are going to say the right things. The coach is going to say the right things. You got the fresh atmosphere, the fresh attitude, the new play, this, that, and the other thing. But I'll tell you what, you start losing games, things start going sour, you know what I mean? So, nothing cures, problems like winning, right? So, the offensive line. What do we got here? Offensive line. General Manager Joe Schoen has put some work into trying to pick up the broken pieces left behind by his predecessor, Dave Gettleman. That is evident in all the changes he made to the offensive line. The Giants have invested heavily in the offensive line this offseason, and now we'll get our first glimpse to see what Shane's efforts have yielded. Most eyes will obviously be on rookie tackle Evan Neal, who has been dominant during OTAs. You like to hear that, baby. All right, Daniel Jones. Here we go. All right, Daniel Jones. Giants' offensive success hinges on the fourth-year quarterback. If Daniel Jones can become a more dynamic while cleaning up his sloppiness, the Giants could be in business. So, if. This week, we'll see how much of an influence the able offensive coordinator Mike Kafka and quarterbacks coach Shea Tierney have had on Jones thus far. This group has worked with the likes of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in recent years, and all believe Jones possesses the good things to become a franchise player. Well, that's what they're going to say. I mean, no coach is going to go, nah, man, this guy really, he's pretty bad. I don't even know why I took this coaching job. This quarterback's horrible. They're not going to say that. I mean, they're going to say the right thing. So whether it comes to fruition or not, who knows? Right? Injuries. There you got Kayvon right there, riding the bike. All right, two things that equal success in this league: a pass rush and pass protection are being scrutinized by the Giants this offseason. Unfortunately, two players they hope will upgrade their efforts on both fronts, rookie edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux and left tackle Andrew Thomas, are both dealing with injuries and may not participate in drills this week. Thomas is recovering from off-season ankle surgery, while Thibodeaux's injury is still unknown. So, Saquon. There you go. Yeah, try to go low on him. He'll just jump over you. Gotta love. All right. Giants couldn't deal Saquon this offseason. I'm not sure how hard they were really trying, but so he's back, and they're hoping they can get something more out of him than they have in the past 3 seasons. Barkley appears to be fully healthy and poised to play a prominent role this year, especially in the passing game. So that's good to see. Get the man out in space. Wide receivers. Oh, yeah, wide receivers. The Giants know that Sterling Shepard will not be available perhaps until mid-season. So that's with his injury, so hopefully, I mean, if we can get him back, the 6th, 7th, 8th week or so, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But, I mean, if we can get him back and if hopefully he can stay healthy the rest of the season, that will be fine. So there's some opportunities to be had here in camp. Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay have to begin to produce consistently, and everyone is wondering what second-round pick Wan'Dale Robinson can bring to the offense. It's also time for Darius Slayton to regain his form and fight for that third wide receiver role, which is huge. This is a big year for Darius Slayton. All right, the secondary. 3/4 of last year's starting defensive backfield, Ryan, Peppers, and Bradbury, gone. It's a shame. Are on other NFL rosters this season. That means that they'll be relying on veteran cornerback Adoree Jackson, emerging star Xavier McKinney, and every man Julian Love to lead the charge. They've got a lot of interesting players in the mix, though, such as cornerbacks Aaron Robinson, rookie Cordell Flott, and safety Dane Belton, among a slew of other undrafted free agents and veteran additions. So they got a nice little melting pot going on there. But I mean, they lose Logan Ryan, Bradbury, and Jabrill Peppers. I mean, that's some. All right, I guess that's their 7. I guess that they wanted to go over. But that's the secondary. I'll tell you what. But that's going to be tough because the object is to apply pressure. Okay, which you can do. You can do, with our edge rushers, you can do that with the safeties. But sometimes they have 3 safeties. With a cornerback, whatever. But when you got the pressure, right? You're going to need guys on the back end who can hold up one-on-one. And, as of right now, we have, we got a lot of bodies, but some of the guys have not really been proven yet. I mean, you got Adoree Jackson, we've seen what a couple other guys can do, but, we've got some guys out there, so that's going to be the interesting thing. Can the secondary hold up? Not only can the secondary hold up, but can the secondary stay healthy? Not that we, I'm looking at maybe a lot of injuries or whatever. But, we're a little on the thin side on the secondary. And if you start throwing a bunch of injuries in there, this could be a really, really bad season for the New York Giants. But, they got 3 days in the mandatory minicamp coming up. And then, then they'll be off for about a month. And then they got training camp starts. And before you know it, guys, regular season, preseason will be here. And then we start the regular season. Can hardly wait.
So you see, I mean, it's a lot of little interesting storylines. What I'll do is tomorrow we'll they'll start going over the mini camp, what was going on and all that, right? But a couple of the big things, to me, anyway, it's health. I mean, one thing is, the health of Daniel Jones. He's been cleared, okay, which is, huge. Because when you got something, you got all kinds of stuff running up and down your spine, your neck, all that, one little thing, and you're paralyzed. I'm not saying it's just a little something, but you get a shot the wrong way. You see some of these guys here, they're blocking and they wind up hitting the ground, and they do something to their neck, they're paralyzed. That's why, when you, they don't want you diving into shallow pools. Why? Because when you go down, you hit your head, you can become paralyzed. So his health is huge. I do feel rather comfortable, that we got Tyrod behind him. But, this gives him, I think without question, it's certainly going to give him a new offensive system, a new revamped offensive line. I can't really say revamped offensive weapons because we added Wan'Dale Robinson, but we lost Evan Ingram. So I can't really say we, added, the biggest thing is going to be is just injuries, because if, this is Daniel Jones's last chance, and if, to give him a fair shot, if you want to call it that, the health of the wide receivers and the offensive line and Saquon is going to be paramount. So hopefully, after these 3 days are over and they get a month off, hopefully when training camp starts, hopefully, nobody will be wearing a red jersey. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!